Let me ask you something. How many battles have you already lost in your mind before you even took the first step? How many dreams have you buried because the voice of doubt sounded louder than the whisper of possibility? The truth is this: your victory path does not start when the world believes in you. It starts the moment you believe in yourself. Belief is the spark that sets every journey of victory in motion. Before any medal is earned, before any mountain is climbed, before any dream is realized, it is belief that first whispers the possibility that it can be done. Victory does not begin on the field, in the office, or on the stage. It begins long before, deep within the unseen chamber of the mind. You can have talent, you can have resources, you can have opportunities, but without belief, they remain dormant like seeds never placed in the soil. Belief is the water, the sunlight, the force that awakens potential and says, you can take this path and you can win. Every person who has ever achieved something great had to first believe it was possible, even when no one else did. Think about it. The world has always been shaped by men and women who saw something in their minds long before the evidence appeared around them. Belief creates vision, and vision shapes reality. If you cannot see it within, you will never hold it without. That is why belief is not optional, it is foundational. The one who doubts their ability is already defeated, but the one who dares to believe has already stepped into victory. Even if the results have not shown yet, the mind is powerful beyond measure, and belief is what directs that power. When you believe, your mind begins to filter reality in a way that aligns with your vision. Opportunities that others overlook become visible to you. Solutions that seemed hidden rise to the surface. Courage that once felt absent is suddenly accessible because belief pulls it out of you. And once your mind locks onto the idea that something can be done, your actions begin to follow. You wake up with purpose, you move with determination, and you endure with resilience. It is belief that strengthens your legs when you feel like quitting, belief that steadies your heart when fear whispers lies, and belief that keeps your eyes fixed forward when distractions try to pull you off course. The absence of belief, on the other hand, destroys even the strongest potential. A person can have all the talent in the world, but if their mind says, I can't, then that talent dies unexpressed. History is not filled with the names of the most gifted. It is filled with the names of those who believed when others doubted. The path of victory is often walked by ordinary people who carried extraordinary belief. Belief transforms weakness into strength, setbacks into comebacks, and obstacles into stepping stones. Belief also has the power to silence the inner critic. Everyone carries that voice inside, the one that says, you're not good enough, you've failed before, you don't have what it takes. Belief answers that voice with certainty. It doesn't ignore the reality of challenges, but it declares, yes, it will be hard. Yes, it may take time, but I will not bow to fear because I know I can make it. That confidence may not come overnight, but every time you choose belief over doubt, it grows stronger, and as belief grows, so does your ability to take bold action. What makes belief even more powerful is that it spreads. When you carry belief, people around you can feel it. They are drawn to your energy, inspired by your confidence, and motivated by your determination. Belief is contagious. It awakens courage in others who had forgotten how to dream. A single person who believes can spark a movement, and that movement can change the world. But it starts with one decision inside you to believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Victory is not a distant prize reserved for the lucky or the gifted. Victory is a path, and the first step on that path is belief. Believe that you are worthy. Believe that you are capable. Believe that your dream is possible. Even if the world laughs, even if circumstances are against you, even if failure tries to convince you otherwise, hold on to belief. Because the moment you decide in your mind that you will win, you have already set victory in motion. The rest is only a matter of time. We often imagine success as one giant leap, a dramatic breakthrough, a single defining moment where everything changes. But the truth is far simpler and far more demanding. Victory does not come from one extraordinary act. It is born from ordinary actions repeated faithfully over time. Every step counts. The path to success is not carved by speed or sudden bursts of effort, but by small, consistent actions that build upon one another until momentum becomes unstoppable. Think about a sculptor shaping a block of marble. The masterpiece is not created by one strike of the hammer, but by thousands of small, precise chisels. Each action on its own may seem insignificant, but together they reveal something extraordinary. Your life works the same way. Every choice you make, every habit you repeat, every step you take is carving the person you are becoming. Even when no one notices, even when it feels slow, each step matters. Success is rarely the result of chance. It is the harvest of daily discipline. The problem is that many people undervalue the small steps. They dismiss them because they don't see immediate results. They say, one workout won't change me, or one day of study doesn't matter, or one small effort won't make a difference. And they are right. One single step may not change everything, but it changes something. It sets a direction. It creates momentum. It sends a signal to your mind and spirit that you are moving forward. Over time, those signals accumulate, shaping your beliefs, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. Consistency is the great multiplier. Doing the right thing once makes no difference. Doing the right thing daily, even when it is boring, even when it is hard, creates transformation. The person who walks a mile each day will go farther in a year than the one who sprints occasionally and then collapses. The one who saves a little money each week will build more wealth than the one who invests big once and then stops. Success is not about intensity. It is about consistency. The steps you repeat are the steps that shape your life. Every step also counts because it teaches endurance. A long journey is not completed by dreaming about the finish line. It is completed by putting one foot in front of the other again and again. Each small step builds resilience. It trains your mind to focus not on how far you have left to go, but on the progress you have already made. And once you start measuring progress in steps instead of miles, you find strength you didn't know you had. The journey that once seemed impossible becomes manageable because you learn to master it one day at a time. There will be days when the steps feel invisible, when the work seems unnoticed, when the results refuse to show up. But those are the days that matter most, because hidden within every small act of faithfulness is the power of compound growth. Just as drops of water eventually wear down a rock, your consistent actions, no matter how small, will eventually break through the barriers that stand in your way. The truth is, you don't need to take giant leaps to succeed. You just need to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Victory is not one dramatic moment of glory, but a series of ordinary days where you choose to keep going. The greatness you admire in others was not built overnight. It was built in silence, in small habits, in unseen steps repeated with persistence. So never despise the small beginnings, never discount the daily effort, never believe the lie that little things don't matter. They matter more than you know. Each step you take today is shaping the victory you will hold tomorrow. And when you finally arrive at the place you once dreamed of, you will look back and realize it wasn't a single leap that brought you there. It was every small, faithful step along the way. Failure is one of the most misunderstood words in the human vocabulary. People see it as a wall, a closed door, a permanent label that declares the end of a dream. But in truth, failure is not a dead end. It is a teacher. It is not meant to break you, but to build you. Every setback, every disappointment, every plan that collapses carries within it a lesson that could not be learned in any other way. Victory is not the absence of failure. It is the wisdom gained from failure that fuels resilience, courage, and growth. When you fail, you face a choice. You can see it as proof that you are not good enough. You can see it as training for the journey ahead. The greatest achievers in history were not people who never failed. They were people who failed more times than most, but refused to let those failures define them. Each time they stumbled, they asked the right question: what can I learn from this? That single question transforms failure from a barrier into a stepping stone. Failure teaches humility. It reminds us that we are not perfect, that we still have room to grow. Without humility, success becomes arrogance, and arrogance leads to downfall. Failure keeps us grounded and teaches us that mastery is not instant. It is a process. Every mistake sharpens your focus. Every setback tests your commitment, and every closed door redirects you toward the path that was meant for you. Failure also teaches creativity. When plan A crumbles, failure forces you to search for plan B, C, or D. It pushes you to think differently, to stretch beyond your comfort zone, to see possibilities you never considered before. Some of the world's greatest innovations were born out of failure. What looked like defeat was actually the doorway to discovery. That is the hidden gift of setbacks. They redirect your eyes to a better way, if you are willing to keep moving. Most importantly, failure teaches resilience. You cannot develop strength without resistance. You cannot build endurance without pressure. Failure is the weight that trains your spirit to rise again. Each time you get back up, you become stronger, tougher, more unshakable than before. Success does not belong to those who never fall. It belongs to those who keep rising. Every scar tells a story, and every story of victory is filled with chapters of failure. The danger is not in failing. It is in quitting. Failure is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. Many people give up right at the edge of breakthrough because they mistake a setback for the end of the road. They do not realize that failure was never meant to stop them. It was meant to prepare them. Every time you fall short, you are gathering the wisdom, the perspective, and the resilience you will need to handle the weight of victory when it arrives. Without those lessons, success would crush you. With them, you are ready to stand firm when it comes. So do not run from failure. Do not hide from it or treat it as shame. Welcome it as a mentor. Learn from it, grow through it, and let it refine you. The most powerful victories are won by those who refuse to quit when failure knocked them down. They chose to see failure not as the end, but as part of the journey. When you shift your perspective, failure loses its sting. It no longer controls you or paralyzes you. It becomes fuel. And when that happens, every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. Every mistake becomes a message of growth. Every defeat becomes the foundation for a greater victory. Remember this, failure is not your enemy. Fear of failure is. Because failure will teach you, shape you, and strengthen you. But fear will chain you before you even begin. Step boldly, knowing that if you fail, you are not finished. You are simply in class, learning the lessons that will make your victory even sweeter when it comes. Passion is powerful. It is the spark that wakes you up with excitement, the fire that makes your heart race with possibility. But passion alone cannot carry you to victory. Passion is emotional, and emotions rise and fall. One day you feel unstoppable, the next you feel exhausted. If you build your journey on passion alone, you will start strong but burn out before the finish line. That is why discipline is the bridge. Passion may start the fire, but discipline keeps it alive when the feelings fade. Discipline is what carries you through the long nights, the setbacks, the dry seasons, and the unseen battles. Without discipline, passion is a flame that flickers out. With discipline, passion becomes a torch that burns until the dream is complete. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many see it as restriction, a burden, or something that takes away freedom. In reality, discipline is not a cage. It is the pathway to freedom. The athlete who disciplines their body earns the freedom of victory on the field. The student who disciplines their time gains the freedom of knowledge and opportunity. The dreamer who disciplines their habits earns the freedom of accomplishment. Discipline is the price you pay for lasting success. And though it feels heavy at times, it is far lighter than the weight of regret. Passion will get you started, but it is discipline that keeps you moving when passion disappears. There will be mornings when you do not feel motivated, when the vision looks too far away, when doubt clouds your mind. In those moments, it is discipline that pulls you out of bed, that reminds you of your commitment, that pushes you to take another step. Discipline says, I made a decision, and I will honor it, no matter how I feel today. Feelings are fleeting, but discipline is steady. It keeps you on track when emotions would throw you off course. Discipline is also what separates dreamers from doers. Many people dream of success, but few are willing to live with the consistency it demands. A dream without discipline is just a fantasy, but when discipline enters the picture, dreams begin to take shape. The daily grind, the repeated effort, the sacrifices that no one sees, these are the bricks of victory. Each act of discipline lays another brick on the bridge, that carries you toward your goal. Passion may lay the foundation, but only discipline can finish the construction. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Small, disciplined actions practiced over time lead to massive results. Just as drops of water eventually wear down stone, daily discipline shapes your life in ways passion alone never could. The disciplined writer who writes a page every day eventually has a book. The disciplined saver who puts aside money consistently eventually has wealth. The disciplined leader who chooses integrity every day eventually has a legacy. Discipline builds greatness not in a day, but through days stacked together, one choice at a time. It is discipline that teaches you endurance. Anyone can show up once. Discipline makes you show up again and again until showing up becomes who you are. It rewires your mind to prioritize commitment over comfort, progress over excuses, victory over temporary ease. Passion gives you the reason, but discipline gives you the result. Without discipline, passion burns out and leaves ashes. With discipline, passion turns into a flame that lights the way all the way to the finish line. Victory belongs to the disciplined, not because they always feel like it, because they choose it even when they don't. Discipline is not glamorous, it is not exciting, it is not loud, but it is unstoppable. It is the quiet power that gets you through storms, the anchor that keeps you steady, the engine that keeps running when everyone else quits. So if you want to cross the finish line, don't rely on passion alone. Let passion ignite you, yes, but let discipline sustain you. Build the habits, keep the commitments, take the steps, even when you don't feel like it. That is the bridge. And once you walk across it, you will discover that victory was never about a single burst of passion, but about the discipline to keep moving until the very end. The people and environments you surround yourself with are either fueling your fire or extinguishing it. No one succeeds in isolation, and no one fails entirely alone. Influence is powerful. It seeps into your thinking, shapes your habits, and ultimately directs your destiny. If you walk with people who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in you, their energy becomes fuel that pushes you further than you thought possible. But if you constantly surround yourself with negativity, voices that criticize, discourage, or belittle, you will eventually find your fire dimming, your energy draining, and your spirit growing weary. That is why it is essential to be intentional about who and what you allow into your atmosphere. Victory is not only about your internal drive, it is also about the external environment that either nourishes or poisons that drive. Negativity is subtle but destructive. It disguises itself as realism, as caution, even as humor. But slowly, it steals confidence, kills creativity, and replaces vision with doubt. If you are constantly exposed to people who tell you what you cannot do, who mock your dreams, or who thrive on complaining, your spirit will absorb their poison. The weight of their words may not stop you instantly, but over time it erodes belief and weakens determination. Fire burns out faster when surrounded by cold winds. Your dream, no matter how strong, needs protection from the chill of negativity. On the other hand, the right people act as fuel. They do not just cheer for you when you succeed, they push you when you are tired, remind you of your potential when you forget, and hold you accountable when you want to quit. Fuel comes in the form of mentors who guide, friends who encourage, communities that uplift, and even environments that spark creativity. Being around those who believe in growth, resilience, and excellence inspires you to rise higher. Their belief becomes contagious, and their energy ignites yours. Fire spreads when it comes in contact with more fire, but not the kind that burns down, the kind that burns brighter. Environment matters just as much as people. If your surroundings are cluttered, chaotic, or uninspiring, your mind mirrors that chaos. But when you create a space that reflects order, vision, and focus, it supports your growth. Think of a seed. It cannot grow in toxic soil, no matter how much potential it carries. You are that seed, and your environment is your soil. Surround yourself with fuel, books that challenge you, conversations that stretch your mind, places that inspire creativity, and people who see your greatness even when you don't. Choosing fuel over fire requires courage. Sometimes it means creating distance from relationships that no longer align with your purpose. Sometimes it means saying no to environments where you feel drained instead of empowered. It is not selfish to protect your energy. It is essential. Just as you would not pour water into your gas tank and expect your car to move forward, you cannot pour negativity into your spirit and expect your life to thrive. The truth is, your future is tied to your circle. Look around at the people closest to you. Do they represent your past or your future? Do they pull you back or push you forward? If you want to rise, you cannot keep company with those who are committed to sinking. Fuel yourself with voices of faith, hope, and determination, and watch how your fire grows stronger. Surrounding yourself with fuel is not about perfection, it is about direction. Even imperfect people can be fuel if they are moving forward, if they are striving, if they are choosing growth. Likewise, even talented people can be fire if they are stagnant, bitter, or bound by negativity. You must discern the difference. Protect your atmosphere like your life depends on it, because it does. Your spirit is like a flame. To keep it burning, you need oxygen, fuel, and protection. The wrong environment suffocates it, the wrong people extinguish it, and negativity burns it out. But the right voices, the right spaces, and the right influences fan it brighter and stronger until it becomes unstoppable. Choose fuel, not fire, and watch how far and how brightly your light will shine. Victory is not something you chase outside yourself. It is something you awaken within. Too often, people spend their lives searching for the missing piece, waiting for the perfect opportunity, or hoping that someone else will unlock their destiny. But the truth is this: victory is already within you. The greatest battles are not won by acquiring something new, but by realizing and activating the power you already carry. The shift comes when you stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for strength. What sets apart those who rise from those who remain stuck is not luck or talent or external advantage. It is the courage to believe they can and act as if the victory is already theirs. Belief is the birthplace of victory. When you truly believe you can, your actions begin to align with that conviction. You walk differently, you speak differently, and you move with an energy that says, I am already on my way. Belief is not blind optimism. It is a deep awareness that what you need to succeed has already been placed inside you. You may not have all the resources right now, but you have resilience. You may not have all the answers, but you have the capacity to learn. You may not have the entire path mapped out, but you have the courage to take the next step. Belief shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, and that is where power begins. Acting as if victory is already yours is not about arrogance. It is about faith in action. It is the mindset of an athlete who trains like a champion before ever holding a trophy. It is the student who studies like success is guaranteed. It is the dreamer who works late into the night, not because success is certain, but because they are certain that their effort matters. When you act as though victory belongs to you, you send a signal to your mind, your body, and even the world around you that you are committed. That alignment attracts opportunities, strengthens discipline, and builds momentum. The danger is in waiting for external proof before moving forward. Many people say, I'll believe it when I see it. But the truth is reversed. You'll see it when you believe it. Waiting for confirmation keeps you stuck. Believing without evidence propels you forward. Victory is not a gift handed to you. It is a reality you grow into by aligning your thoughts, your habits, and your choices with the truth that you already carry enough. This inner victory also gives you resilience. When you understand that the power is within, setbacks don't destroy you. Instead of saying, I failed, so I'm not capable, you say, I failed, but I will rise again because the strength is still inside me. You stop being dependent on circumstances, applause, or approval to feel strong. Your strength becomes self-sustaining because it comes from within. That is what makes you unstoppable. Not perfection, but persistence fueled by inner conviction. Victory within also transforms how you see challenges. Instead of viewing obstacles as proof you cannot succeed, you see them as opportunities to draw out more of the power already inside you. Just like muscles only grow under resistance, your inner strength is revealed through trials. What once intimidated you now becomes a training ground. Every setback is a reminder that the victory is not outside waiting for you. It is inside, waiting to be released. When you finally grasp this truth, you realize that you don't have to wait for the right time or the perfect conditions. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You are already equipped. The victory is not someday, it is within you today. The decision you make right now to believe, to act, to persist, is the very thing that turns hidden potential into visible success. So stop doubting, stop delaying, stop looking for something external to save you. Everything you need to win is already inside. The courage to believe is the key, and the willingness to act as if the victory is already yours is the bridge. Walk boldly, live confidently, and face each day knowing that victory is not around the corner. It is already within you, waiting to be claimed. The path to victory is not reserved for the strongest, the wealthiest, or the luckiest. It is for the one who dares to believe. Belief ignites the journey. Small, consistent steps carve the path. Failures become teachers instead of barriers. Discipline builds the bridge that carries you across. The right people and environments fuel your fire. And finally, the greatest truth of all, victory has always been within you. Every battle you face, every obstacle that rises, every doubt that whispers is simply an invitation to dig deeper into the strength you already carry. The victories that matter most are not about proving the world wrong, but about proving to yourself that you can rise, persist, and finish strong. So when you leave here today, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for all the pieces to align. Begin with belief. Step forward with discipline. Protect your fire by surrounding yourself with fuel. And when setbacks come, remember they are not the end, they are the lesson. Walk boldly, because the finish line belongs not to those who never fall, but to those who never stop getting back up. Victory is not out there somewhere. It is already within you. All you must do is believe it, act like it, and live like it. And when you do, you will not only reach the finish line, you will inspire others to run their own race with courage.